Hey there everybody, back in the shop. Hey, I guess we're all kind of familiar with these BK-9s. Um, K-bar. Anyway, I've had this knife for, I guess, better than a year, I guess. And I found it difficult to use. I think it's an awesome knife. I love chopping with it and stuff, but the scales on the thing are slick. You get a little bit sweaty, or if you're working in the rain or whatever, I've had trouble hanging on to it, and at one time I had a little short lanyard on it, and I would use that, and that was just a pain all the time, taking on and off, and building a shelter or chopping wood or whatever you're doing. So recently I was watching a video, and excuse me, I don't remember who they were, but anyway, they were talking about the guy stippling the scales on his BK-9. And so I started that process. And first of all, I looked up how to stipple on YouTube, and I saw a guy that did a very simple process. He just used a wood burner and used just a little sharp tip on it, and just poke it in there. And the longer you leave it, the deeper it burns, of course. So I practiced a little bit on this. I didn't practice on anything else. I started right off the bat on this thing, and I found right away that where I'd started, it wasn't quite as aggressive of a grip as I wanted. So I went back and I redid that part, and then I've went ahead and finished this up. But I've just done one side. I wanted to make sure I knew what I was doing before I continued on the other side. So now that I'm confident with that, I think maybe I'll move forward and do this, and maybe show you a little bit how I do it. And just want you to know, I did no real pattern or anything. I don't know if you can see that, maybe. It's just an aggressive bunch of little craters, Now, I could see where this thing would wear the hide right off of you if you used it barehanded and got a little sweaty and slipping on there. It's going to wear the skin right off of you. So I think a guy should wear gloves when he uses this from now on. But well, let me set up, and I'll go back and do a little work on this and kind of show you what I'm doing. What I mentioned just a second ago is just using a little cheap little wood burner I have, and it's got that tip on it. And I started out right here in the middle last time, and I just hold it pretty much straight up, and you just start putting dots in, and it just melts it and makes an abrasive surface, makes little craters and little raised spots. And I found if you mess up just a little bit, you can go right back over it and fix it. It looks kind of ugly to begin with, but once you get this laid in there, it starts looking pretty cool. And I'm glad I stumbled across that. I'm gonna have to remember who was mentioning this, doing this to this knife, but I'm glad they did, because it's something that I've been trying to figure out how to make this this handle on this knife not so slippery. Thought about filing grooves in it and sanding on it and everything, and I just never did anything because I really figured the end results I wasn't going to be happy with. So, but basically you kind of see what I got going on, what I'm doing, and it just does that, and it raises it. It dries or hardens immediately, and but I think I'm very pleased with what's going to happen here. So I'm just going to continue forward, and maybe I'll show it to you when I'm all done. Well, I'm moving right along. I probably got about 10 minutes into this thing, and probably 2/3 of the way done with it. But anyway, I just realized that I could zoom in a little bit, kind of show you how this is going. It actually moves along pretty quick. Like I said, I don't, there's no real, specific pattern I'm using. I'm just covering the surface, and maybe I'm not doing it right, but it's going to suit my needs right here. So all about being functional. I think it looks kind of cool too. So, but just thought I'd give it a go, give it a try, and you know, if it turns out that this isn't the way to do it, get a new set of scales for this. But I think this is going to work fine. Pretty happy with it so far. But there again, we'll see how it works out in the woods too. But I know they do a lot of handguns this way, and I think it's going to give it a really nice grip. But you see, it moves right along. And one thing I noticed is you can get some kind of high snaggy spots on it. I just take this thing and just go over it a little bit, just slightly like that, and it melts those little snags right off. And kind of do that when I'm done. These things are going to catch you and tear your skin, you know. But you can see this is no big, huge pain. I don't know what this little wood burner, can't imagine these things are more than about $15 maybe. I don't know. It's been a long time since I bought one. I've had a couple of these around forever and really never use them for anything but burning my initials into my axe handle or something in the butt end. But you know, it's kind of like that. Anyway, that's how it's turning out so far. Zoom back here. Zoom back here. Right there. Okay, I'm going to continue on. May show a little progress or just finish it up. Okay, well there it is. Oops, man. Got her done. I must say, I'm very pleased with it. It's as you could probably see, it's a very aggressive stipple pattern that I did on there, or just, you know, burned it in pretty good. But and I really feel that it's going to need some gloves when you use this thing. It's going to wear the skin right off you, like I mentioned. But I'm very, very, very happy with it. I'm anxious to get back out and use this knife. As far as doing the stipple work, it went relatively quick. You know, I don't think I had I had less than 20 minutes per side on this. And the only other thing is do it in a well ventilated area. I have the door and the window open here in my garage, and because it does put off some fumes, and you know, it wasn't terrible, but probably depending on the kind of material you're working with. But anyway, very happy with the outcome of this. And just let me tell you, if you don't want to buy a big expensive set of scales for your BK-9, BK-2, BK whatever you got, this works very well. So once you give it a try, this is going to put this thing out in the woods with me again. I've only used this a couple of times and I've been very happy with it. Done a lot of chopping and batoning with the knife, and the edge has held up wonderful. You can see I haven't hardly got the finish wore off this side at all. For some reason it did wear off this side a little bit, but yeah, get that thing out there again. The next project I have for this knife is I'm probably going to build a leather sheath for it. The sheath that came with it, it's just not working for me, and I'm just going to build a sheath for this so I can carry it with me, and kind of working on a design for it right now. So got some new leather in and anxious to get to work on this. So alright everybody, thanks for sticking around for this project, and keep on bushcrafting.